You know what I'd really like to have?
What?
Some Brothers Greba apparel.
Hey, that's a really good idea.
How about some some I don't know, t-shirts, shorts, stocking hats,
I
toques.
ran into an old lady when I was, getting my oil changed the other day, and she asked.
Did she want some?
Yeah, a TBG.
You know what you could get?
What?
Cardigans.
Oh, well,
You could do it.
you probably could do that.
You'd wear it.
By the way, I like your sticker on your shirt.
I wanted to break it out. That's what got me thinking about it.
If we do this, are people interested?
You gonna do it? You gonna buy some?
Well, no, I think we would actually make real shirts. We wouldn't just put stickers on them, right?
Oh shoot! Yeah, I suppose we probably should.
Okay, so
we'll
real
make
shirts.
real shirts, but you could have the stickers too.
Hats.
Yeah.
Gotta have hats.
Temporary tattoos.
That's right.
Temporary tattoos.
With a snake on the left side of my face.
Brothers Greba snake.
Yeah. So if any of those things are something that you're interested in, maybe you should just reach out, put it in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, I got stamps. I can mail them to you. I do it. Don't you stamp stuff?
No.
I think you do now.
It's just messages, dude. All right, welcome back. What are we, episode
72.
Yeah. All right,
Maybe 73.
there you go. All right, we're going to get right after it.
Yeah, we're going to get right into recruiting because we're getting lots of questions. So at least I'm getting a lot of questions, not just from the viewers, but also I feel like I'm getting loads. I'm always at this time of year getting a lot of questions from parents, athletes. This is kind of like crunch time. Yep. So can we just cover some of the questions we're getting and like a more rapid fire, and you can kind of like throw out an answer.
All right, let's focus on official visits right now, because
kind of the process.
I don't want to dance
right
around
now.
too much.
Yeah. But I mean, like where we're at right now, don't go past it.
Okay.
Because we're not past official visits, so we can cover that in maybe the next one. Like, if you do have one, what do you do? All that stuff.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'm thinking the initial ones, like, okay, I have an 8th grader that's a level 9 that she dreams of being a college gymnast. What's my steps? What do I do? And I think you could answer a couple of those things, what you'd like to see, and I can tell you what we would say. But how about, okay, that's one of them. She's an 8th grader.
Just in general recruiting.
Yeah, just what does she do now? Now we're going into our year. Mm-hmm. She's going to be a level 9 this year, and then what do we need? What are you looking to see? What would we coach her on?
Yeah, I think
7th to 8th grade.
Yeah, first off, it's more trying to get noticed a little bit. I mean, you've got to be on social media. You've actually got to go to. I do think it's important to go to some of the meets where college coaches will be to evaluate. I mean, obviously, we're not at that point. We're not massively focused on 7th and 8th graders. We're focused on the next class coming up, especially with all the changes right now.
When do you start looking, though? That's kind of what you need to start thinking.
Looking. You're always looking,
Okay.
and you're going to write somebody's name down. That's good.
Okay.
So you're not doing yourself any disservice by going to those meets and getting in front of college coaches. But if you don't have a great meet, there's not a college coach out there that's going to write down like this one girl in session 3 had a bad meet. But if you're doing a really good job, if you're doing something really well, if you're really good in an event, that type of stuff,
you might stand out.
You will have the potential of getting noticed. Okay. So I think that's a positive. You got to go to those things and let college coaches see you, and you have to be at the meets that they're at in order to do that.
And I think at least from my standpoint, what we usually tell our athletes is that's the time when you start going to a couple of the college camps in the summer. Yeah. And you guys, like, there's a whole bunch starting to do them in the fall now and stuff. Yeah. I'm kind of mixed on that one right now, depending on your level. But let's just stay on the general. I would say hit a couple college camps, and at different levels. Like, everybody wants to go to the same college camp and they fill up right away. And it's all nice to say that, I was in 7th grade and I went to the, Oklahoma or the Florida camp or whatever, which is great, but you might want to hit a couple others because yes, it's cool to go to those camps, but if you really want to be a college gymnast, you probably want to see a lot more of the landscape going in.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of, I call that self-scouting. You've got to make sure that you're doing a good job with your process. We'll take a school that doesn't have gymnastics, so we're not offending anybody. Let's say Texas Tech,
Yeah, and why doesn't Texas have
Right. Well, that's true.
gymnastics? So your new position, maybe we could work on that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'd love to work on it.
Because Texas needs at least 2 more schools.
So let's say Texas is recruiting and you're interested in going there and you've went to their camp.
Right.
Well,
who wouldn't be interested?
That's a really good thing. Here's the issue. For any given year, they might only have 3 or 4 scholarships, and there's hundreds of gymnasts. So you're really putting a lot of emphasis on one school.
Right.
Be really careful that you don't box yourself in. So yeah, I'm in favor of these athletes going to not only different college camps, but different camps that have colleges. Like there are a bunch of invitational camps that hire college coaches. And the main thing is, you want to get to see the university, but I mean, you really want to get to know the coach.
You want to see the coaches, and I think you want an opportunity to be coached by the coaches.
Yeah.
So you know how they coach.
Yeah, and a lot of these college programs will have their athletes coaching there, so you'll get to know them a little bit, not necessarily in the same frame as if you're competing with them, but you'll get to you'll be acquainted with them to a point where you'll understand if you like that atmosphere or if you're struggling with that atmosphere, that type of thing. So yeah, I think that's all prepping yourself to get to your junior year and to start like with this time frame right now, where hopefully you've had some calls and you're maybe you already have an official visit offered to you, or you're hoping for an official visit to get offered to you, or you're still waiting for the calls to start, and none are in a bad spot right now.
Okay, so
it's a chaos world out there.
Let's stay on like that 8th grader, that 7th, 8th grader right now. Just like a general theme. When do you offer official visits? When do you make those phone calls? Just so people going forward know.
Yeah.
The athletes that are in it right now have already been in the mix, so they know. But how about those younger kids and those parents? When are these official visits happening? Apparently that's a big deal, the official visit.
Yep.
Right? And the phone call on the 5th.
So nothing, it's an all or nothing agenda right now. So nothing really happens before June 15th. Going into your junior year, after your sophomore year. Yeah, that's when calls can start, and
college coaches can call athletes.
Yep. So before that, you can do camps, you can do unofficial visits.
But a college coach can only call an athlete that finished their sophomore year.
Correct. Well, right? You have to be going into.
So the college coaches can start making phone calls June 15th after your sophomore year, but they have to be at least finish their sophomore year of school.
Yeah, they have to technically be moving to their junior year.
Yep. Okay.
So when college coaches are calling those people, it's really because they've already established sort of a baseline of knowledge about them.
A relationship of some sort.
Yeah, and I was getting usually social media direct messages, but still some text with videos of sophomores that you can't reply back, you can't do any of that type of stuff.
Yep.
But you're watching it. I mean, they can send stuff to the coach, the college coach. The college coach has all the rules. The college coach can't reply back.
Okay, so let's work that backwards, because I think that's what parents and other coaches, younger coaches that haven't been through this process a bunch of times, and of course the athletes that don't know for sure, you work that backwards. Okay, so if your goal, sounds like the goal, we're going to get to visits, okay, is to get a visit, an official visit, which is the fall of beginning of your junior year.
Yep.
Okay, that's what you want.
Starting August 1st. You can actually start August 1st with visits.
Okay. So that's the goal. So when you're looking forward, that's what you want. So in order to do that, you probably want to get on the phone with those coaches, several different coaches, some options, starting June 15th of that year.
Yeah, you definitely have to be on the call list in June.
Okay. So in order to
that's
do
helpful.
that,
Yeah.
there's a couple ways. At least the way I look at it, there's a couple ways. A, you have a knockout sophomore year that you put yourself on the map. You can come out of nowhere. That happens all the time, I'm assuming. You see that.
Yeah.
And you guys go to nationals, you go to a regional meet, or you go to an
invitational.
invite,
Yep.
and you see somebody that stands out. They look good. You write their name down, and somehow the communication starts, whether they've already been communicating with you or whatever.
Yep.
So that's one way. That's the way I look at it. That's one way. Now, the other way, maybe you got a steady Eddie kid that's been just gradually getting better, maybe isn't standing out, but is a really solid performer. I feel like those athletes have to do a better job of reaching out.
Yeah, they have to help market themselves.
So how do you you don't want to bank on just having an awesome sophomore year. Like, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you roll an ankle or something? So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to for the parents and the younger coaches out there. Like, how do I get my kid on the map and protect myself in her 9th grade, 10th grade year? How do I get a relationship with these coaches? How do I build something so that there is an idea, they do know who she is, or they know the club she goes to, or whatever?
Well, I think the best way is going to a camp or two.
Okay.
I mean, because when you get to coach that athlete as a college coach, that's the best way to build a connection. I mean, you can't really recruit them, but you can actually coach them, and to me, that's getting to know an athlete.
So are they coachable?
Yeah, and
Do they have cool skill set?
Do they help what we need, that
Yep.
type of thing? So, all of that stuff is very beneficial. I mean, you're basically talking to them. It's one of the few areas that you can legally talk to each other. So don't anticipate recruiting going on
There's
at
no
that
real
point.
recruiting happening.
But there's you're deciding whether you like the gym, the staff, all of that, and the staff's deciding whether they think you're going to fit into their system, and are you coachable, all of that type of stuff. But I do think it's important to we'll go back to that self-scouting. I just want to be clear that it's really hard to encourage somebody to go do that, and they pick schools that are never going to offer them,
Right.
or that don't have their major.
Yeah.
We've had athletes that do that. Like, hey, that's great. You really want to go there? Do they offer your major? And I don't know. I didn't check. They're really,
I didn't really look.
Yeah, that's a problem because you actually shouldn't just look at the rankings and that type of stuff.
Or I like it because it's sunny there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But guys, you're gonna be in school. Okay, you're gonna be in school. You're gonna be doing gymnastics. Like,
Yeah, this is a job that.
And
you're
I've also
interviewing for.
noticed, and this is just for everybody out there, that it's amazing how you will write off a whole bunch of an athlete will write off a whole bunch of schools. I don't want to go East Coast, whatever. I want to go West Coast, and then you kind of eliminate all those their 9th, 10th, and going into their junior year, and then all of a sudden they change their mind. They become a different person because now they've matured, and maybe their academics has changed, and now they're looking at East Coast schools, but you haven't built any relationships with these East Coast schools.
Yep.
Because you cancel them off. I've had athletes tell me, I don't want to do college gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told them from the beginning, well, it's my job to give you a choice later, even if you don't think you want to do college gymnastics. We're going to train and prepare like that. And inevitably, by their junior year, their sophomore, junior year, they're like, I think I want to do college gymnastics.
Yeah.
And they didn't do any of the homework.
And you've put yourself behind now.
Yes, now you're behind.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. So you got to get yourself, first off, do a good self-scout. What do you want to actually study? What are some schools that you want to go to for that?
Do I want a large school, small school?
Yeah, I think it's more that, rather than just trying to look at the ranking of, and I'm not just talking about their gymnastics ranking, is what a lot of people get wrapped up into what the number one school in the public school institution in the country, and there's a ton of good schools out there that are going to do a great job of educating you, but you work well with small classes, with large classes?
Right.
Do you want a big city environment? Do you want a small town environment? We grew up in a small town. We wanted a big city environment.
Yep.
You know, so and you weren't going to change our mind
No.
at that point. So it was going to be, we were going to go to a city, a school with a city around it.
Circumstances end up changing your mind,
Right,
which
right.
happened.
Yeah, but generally speaking,
Yep.
those are the things you got to start doing. Does mom and dad want to visit you during
Yeah.
school? Now, and that goes back to
How
if you're a West
expensive-
Coast and an East
How
Coast.
expensive is it to visit too?
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of those things you just don't even think about when you're going through the process. Obviously, you're not making your choice because you're trying to get somebody's attention. Do you need a social media account? When should you have it? When should you start posting? When should you start emailing coaches? Should you start emailing? Should you email? I don't know. Will they ever email you back?
Yes and yes and no and no.
Yeah, that's see, those are the questions I get all the time. I've emailed them 5 times and they haven't emailed me back.
I'll tell you this. You should communicate with them. And I think, first off, in college, you're going to have to email. Your professors are going to operate by email. Medical stuff, anything that comes from housing, it's all going to be email. So you better be good at email. If you're emailing these coaches and not getting a reply back, that doesn't necessarily mean they don't like you.
Right.
Most of the time, if they don't want you, they'll tell you that they're moving on so that you don't waste your time continually emailing them. But I've just found it crazy that a lot of people just aren't good at replying back to email. So, I mean, fill out the questionnaire at every university.
That one I do think
That's a big deal.
Yeah, because a lot of times they can't talk to you or they don't have your
And
info.
that gives them your info.
Okay.
So then send them an email, because that's pretty public knowledge. Sometimes the websites will have their cell phone, but they can't answer the call. So if you're younger, so
how do you get
send
the
them an email.
information? I think if you go to Road to Nationals, a lot of times on the website, and then you can find the link to their school.
Yeah, as long as you just go to their school, their athletic page will have contact information.
But you need to go to the athletic page.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to go to their.
So let's say we want to look
Okay.
up Texas gymnastics. You just Google Texas gymnastics.
Okay.
It'll bring you to if they had a program, it'd say roster, staff,
Okay.
that type of thing. It's under roster. Staff is under roster, so click roster. It'll say staff and athletes. Click the staff, and it'll have the head coach, the assistant coaches, their emails. The head coach is not necessarily the best one. I would email the head coach, but email assistant coaches as well, because the assistant coaches are the ones.
So you should
doing
email
a lot of
everybody
that.
that's a staff member.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
what
they
should you
can do,
email?
Just I'm interested in your school.
Okay.
Here's my name. Here's a link to my social media page. That type of stuff.
Can you ask them to send you information?
No. Well, I mean, you can. They can't reply back.
Okay.
Yeah, but what
That's
they,
an important thing because you're not going to get a reply back when you do this.
You will get. It is legal for not every university does this, but it is legal for us to send an email back and explain the rules.
Okay.
So I can say, hey, I can't really email or contact you till June 15th before your junior year. Here are the rules. Boom, boom, boom. And that's a generic email that you can legally send out. The funny thing is, at the bottom is usually their name and their cell phone number and their contact information. You need that cell phone number if you're the recruit, because you want to be able to contact them directly, not go through this email thing.
Okay.
So when they send that back
Step
to you,
one, do the
and put that in your phone when you
recruiting
get it back.
form or whatever
The
on
questionnaire,
their
yep.
questionnaire on their website. Step two, email the staff.
Yep.
Okay, that you're interested. Then step three,
Whatever the reply back is, take down as much information as you can. I would put in your contacts every coach with their email, because you'll have that. That's on the website. And then when they do reply back, most of them are going to reply back and have a cell phone number attached to it as part of their signature. That's legal for them to send you that. But that's where people would send me texts after a while when they got the reply back. They'd send texts. I can't reply back to the text or anything, but I am watching your videos.
Yep.
I am
So that's when
already
the
starting
process-
to make, whether you're on my list or not, that
so
type of thing.
that one is when the process starts. So if you can get 1, 2, 3, and now you have their information, then you need to start sending some videos.
And
do you have a suggestion on how that happens? I mean, like, do you want a compilation with like music in the background?
No. Don't spend a lot of time on it.
Okay.
Just send. If it's on social media, that's great. We'll be watching that. But if you want to send a text, it's just send a short video. It's just, hey, I caught my Jaeger today.
Or you send and say, here's my social media link.
Yep.
Please follow me or whatever.
And I think all of this, in my mind, is phase 1 of recruiting. This is all before the phone calls in June.
Right.
So
this is what you're doing.
You should be
a
doing
year or
this
two earlier.
A year or two earlier, yep.
To get a phone call.
Yep. Generally speaking, it doesn't work the other way, where I'm good, so they'll recognize me. There's just way too many young gymnasts out there that are decent gymnasts that it is crazy thousands of athletes are out there. And some are great all the way through the regional meet, maybe missed the national meet. So just because you made the national, JOs, I'll call it, just because you made JOs.
Dev Nationals.
Yep, Dev Nationals. There's a lot of regional athletes that would help schools. So we've got to be watching those too. We have to be watching state meets. We have to be watching these invitationals. So it's nothing personal, it's a business. And if it is not that they're going to recognize you, there's probably 20 gymnasts on any given year that every school knows is one of the better gymnasts that year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but everybody knows those 20 gymnasts.
Yeah, and all the other 180 or 200 and whatever, they're just all the same. They're just a name on a piece of paper until the connection starts.
Until you start to know. And I think that's the key, is a lot of the times that I see, or at least questions that I deal with, or confusion that occurs, is a lot of times the fact that you assume that those college coaches saw every one of your routines.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you go to Dev Nationals, you have a good meet, and you assume, now there's 47 other girls competing at the exact same time on your set of apparatus.
Yeah.
And then, so there's seniors and there's juniors going on at the same, I mean, there's a lot happening. It's very easy to get missed. And there's a lot of the same scores going up there.
And just a reminder, they already have committed athletes at that meet that they're watching.
And they have to watch those.
And they have to watch those as well.
Yeah.
So
I think that one is misunderstood a lot of times. You think that college coach is over on that senior side looking at you or looking at your group, but they're there to see somebody that they already have committed, and they're just doing their due diligence probably.
Yes,
and
some of those college coaches are watching you. It's just you don't know if it's the college coaches that you want, that you're interested in. So generally speaking, social media is important. Camps are important. Social media, follow the school's gymnastics program.
Yes.
Social media.
Know who you're
and
talking
follow the
to.
coaches. Social media. And most likely they'll follow you back. Go to the camps, go to some camps, and self-scout really well. I think those are the three things that make sure that you're not shooting at schools that you eventually won't want, or eventually might change your mind. So that's where parents come in. And it's really important because the parents have been through it. They can say, look, I understand what you're saying. We're not saying no, but we're also saying you got to keep your options open.
And I would put into the self-scouting thing, like, do some homework. You know who you're talking to. If you're calling Texas, know what their mascot is. Know what their season went like.
Yeah.
And know what city they're located in, so that you come across like you're genuinely interested in their program, not just randomly emailing everybody trying to get somebody to know.
And that's going to be, to me, that's phase 2. We can cover that in the next episode, because phase 2 is building that connection. First off, you got to get in contact with these people and build the connection. But that's phase 1. There's a lot of work in there, but there's a lot of opportunity in there as well.
up with some of the super fans of the Brothers Graba podcast. You are Matt Crashmore.
Matt Crashmore, super fan.
And what did you do before you met the Brothers Graba?
I don't do much right now. I've been following these guys for about 2 weeks now, living in the van.
Catching up with some other big fans of the Brothers Graba podcast, Carol Grigsby. May you please introduce yourself?
My name's Carol Grigsby. I'm just a real fun guy to be around. I just want to hang out with people.
And what do you do for the Brothers Graba podcast?
I don't really do anything. I'm just a super fan. I like to call myself the #1 fan of the #1 podcast.
Did you do anything before the podcast?
I really haven't done much. I wrote a book, and my mom read it. Other than that, pretty much just been waiting for this opportunity.
What is the book called?
It's just my name, Carol Grigsby. Want to be wonderful. Look it up on Amazon.
Welcome back. Awesome recruiting talk. Got to meet some of the fans.
Yeah, Carol and Matt. It was great to see them over there.
Matt's crazy guy, it seems like.
Crazy, and it's, we don't actually get to see our fans because we're really at the Brothers Graba Metroplex studio structure,
This
so
is it
much.
right here.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot more way behind the scenes.
there's so much
that
more
you're
behind
not
the scenes
seeing.
that you guys aren't
But
seeing.
we'll take you behind the scenes one of these days.
One of
maybe.
these days we'll have to, but I mean,
We can
we
take
need more battery life in the
studio,
cameras.
on the studio car.
Yeah, we can take the studio car. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
All right. But let's get on. What
Let's do
I
it.
want to talk about is we just, probably like some of you all, just went back and rewatched the broadcast. Watched both broadcasts. By the way, the international, it's on YouTube, the full broadcast for the international viewing, I think is different. It's more of a pass-through, which is, you're not getting the commentating, but you're getting to see more
I like to see all the routines.
Yeah. So we did both. We went back and watched through both. And first things first, what is your overall general impression of the meet when you watched it?
I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought, we watched the regular broadcast first. Watch the guys first, obviously.
Yep.
The previous day, and I will say, I'm gonna shout out to the guys. That was super entertaining.
Yeah, that was
Really thought the guys did a great job. There was a lot of stuff going on, throwing big skills.
I thought they
and
also
deep.
handled it. It's deep, and I thought they handled it well. Day 2 had the crash of the scoring system. And
that's right,
that was, look, the athletes handled it well. The coaches handled it well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the line dancing. I'm not much of a line dancer, but
Roethlisberger needs his work. He needs to not jump in with.
Well, that was
with
his
the
best
guys.
work, I think.
Okay.
That's probably as good as he can do.
Yeah. But
Practice won't help.
I thought it was entertaining and competitive, and it was
really
good, exciting.
And I'm going to say this before I forget to say it. I'm kind of intrigued by their bonus structure that they're doing. We'll get into that a little bit with the women's program as we get on here. But I see what they're doing. They're behind the world in D score. There are guys that have the D score, but they're trying to encourage more, and they're trying to use it as some sort of measuring stick.
Right.
And it seems to be working. More guys are throwing stuff. More guys are going for sticks. They're throwing big tricks and big combos, and it was fun to watch. I thought that was entertaining.
I think
watch.
that'll be interesting to over these next 2 years to decide.
See how it
with
goes.
hindsight how that works out, and did it help us improve and all that type of stuff.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot about it, and I might have to reach out to a couple guys and get some more information on the exact details of their
Or
structure.
put it in the comments.
Yeah,
if you guys are watching.
It's intriguing because I like to see that. I know other countries are doing that in the women's program. I know across the world, other countries are doing some form of that to try to encourage D score.
Right.
But yeah, it was good to watch. The women's the women's meet, it was more of a typical women's meet where you see, especially day one. I felt like day one you saw the top girls. I just see a lot of chalking up on TV, which is why I like the other feed,
The international feed,
what'd you call it, a pass through feed.
The pass through, yep.
Whatever it is, I like to have it on. I don't mind listening to the announcer or whatever, but I like to have it on because you're seeing everybody.
Yeah, I like both. I like listening to what they have to say. I like the insight for the athletes, behind the scenes stuff. But
Some of the stories are really cool.
yeah,
I mean,
and you
don't
won't get
know.
that on the pass through.
Yeah.
What I do like about I like the fact that we have both options. And, to me, that's a shout out to going ahead and putting it up very quickly. We got to see it right afterwards. It's very quick when they put this
Yeah,
stuff
that
up.
was good.
And they did it for the men too. So I like both. I'm not knocking one or the other. I know you can't get into the stories about people
Not
and
on a
show
pass
every
through, yeah.
routine.
Yep.
So,
do it.
and I know you can show every routine, but not get into the stories on the pass through. So I think it's just, if that's something you're looking for, you have two options. You utilize both now.
Yeah, that part I liked. I like seeing every routine. We saw more routines day two. I feel like, or more competitors day two, but just in general, the meet itself. I mean, it looked good.
Well
The girls
coached.
they're
Well coached.
Everybody was prepared. They were
were
clean.
prepared.
There's a couple falls, but people are going for big stuff, and so I feel like that part of it I don't get too caught up in. It's like the girls are working hard, the coaches are working hard, and the product is looking good.
Let me push on this because we talked about this during the broadcast, but the pressure is different. So when people are making mistakes, that's a pressure-packed meet.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm not surprised there are mistakes.
Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. Each coach and athlete, or at least like the way we work it, is the team. The coaches and the athlete, we get together. What's our goal for this meet? Sometimes some of them are getting ready for world trials.
Right.
I feel like a couple of the girls, their focus was getting ready for world trials. A couple of the girls, the focus was, I have a couple of new skills that I got to put on and that's the way we would do it. We'd be like, I have to compete this before we go on a bigger stage. We would have probably used U.S. Classic, but some people have to do it the way it works, the way your preparation is. You see a little bit of that. They have to implement the routine at some point, and then they have to know what they're going to score.
Right.
Some predictability as when will we pull that out, or do we
get
just
some
shelve
feedback
it?
from the judges.
You got to get some feedback from the judges. We'll get into the judging thing later because I'm not sure some of the scores that I saw are going to hold international. I mean, I just feel like, but that's typical.
We'll find out this next weekend.
Yeah, it's typical. I mean, like Europeans will be the same. I think Europeans will be high, and then you'll get to worlds and everything. You put all the best players on the same field, and you
have to separate them.
Yeah, and then you can be steady. So you'll see some of that level off, but the rest of it I didn't think was super surprising.
No,
It looked good.
Here's my thought, just as an interested observer who's knows just enough about gymnastics to be, sort of inside baseball, but also who's going to be selected to the world team, who's going to be at the selection camp, that type of stuff. My perspective was they did a better job day two, but day one, I mean, how many people are going to go to World Selection Camp? We'll get into that. One of our next podcasts is going to have World Selection Camp.
Yeah, we'll talk about
behind
some of the
scenes, what that is
strategies
like.
that you would do from
But-
here going forward.
Yeah, but if let's say they take 10 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we really got a really good helping of the top 3 or 4, and by all means should have. Hesley should have been on the broadcast a lot. Claire should have been on the broadcast a lot. Jade should have been on the broadcast a lot. Sky should.
Charlie.
Yes, exactly. Go down the list. But there's other people that are going to be at that World Selection Camp and might even make the world team that we really didn't see much. Now, day two, we saw a little bit more. That's the only thing that is frustrating to me as a viewer is I'm getting a lot of knowledge about some of the people that I'm pretty sure are going to be at World Selection Camp.
Right.
But the ones who are on the bubble, and could make it and have a real impact or not. Not necessarily are we getting a great helping. We don't really get to see a lot of them. So
Well,
I
think
don't know if you can
take-
do both.
But you can take Dulcie Kaler last year. Probably, I mean, I didn't do any math on this or anything, but I don't know how much they showed her at championships. But then she goes out and just knocks it out of the park at the world selection, and was a bit of a surprise, I think, internationally. I wouldn't say like if you're in the community. Like if you're in gymnastics, you know she's good. You know she's got the ability to do that. However, a lot of the casual fans might not have known who she was, to your point. Maybe didn't see enough of her.
Yeah, and that's a good story. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do it all. That's just me being picky. But generally
You
speaking,
could try to do it all.
Again, picture-in-picture is helpful. Split screens are helpful. Quad boxes can be helpful.
Can't you just
Not
have
all
the other
time.
thing? I still like, I would love to see, like even in the NFL, you would know what was happening. Even if they're talking, the play is still running
Right.
behind them. They're still talking about the last play. That was a great reception or whatever. The play's still running. They're not talking about it, but you can still see what's happening. And I thought a few times in the broadcast, like you get to the end and you're like, you see somebody in the top 5 or whatever, and you're like, wait, did we even see her? Or they say so-and-so, you hear a cheer in the background and you're like, wait,
What happened?
was that good? Was it bad? What happened? Like, I would like to at least see, I'd love to hear the commentary and the stories, but I don't understand why they can't have like a small picture or something or anything just going in the background. I don't need to see poor Susie, whoever's there. You just got done, and now you got to say hi to your mom to the camera
can we-
for 10 minutes.
Can we also point out, I'm going to bring this up because this is just a me thing. Maybe it's not just a me thing. But I felt like Sky was massively uncomfortable when they did the close-up at the end of the meet. She's sitting down, and they're doing a shot of her sitting down. I'm like, and there's the meet's still going on. I just don't know what that brings to the broadcast. I understand that she's part of the story that night, but she's not. She's done. The night was over. She was done with the meet, I think. But it was, to me, if she felt, it looked to me like she was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because I don't need to see her for 45 seconds to 2 minutes sitting there.
Yeah.
And I just feel like
It's super uncomfortable when they do that. And
I don't know. That's just a me
if you're at home watching, that camera is a lot closer than it looks like on TV.
It's right there.
That thing's like right here. And it's so uncomfortable because you really want to talk to your coach, or you want to talk to your friend, or you want to just like, you want to move on, whether it was a good routine or a bad routine. You're not dwelling. You got got another event, or it's the end of the meet and you're processing what happened.
But still
Fine.
do it. Still do it.
Do the
Still
video.
take the shot.
I
But
don't
we
mind
don't need
the
to
video.
stay. We don't need to linger there so long.
Well, and also allow me to interact with somebody else.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm just going to say, like a lot of times the basketball players now, I'm seeing a lot more this year, they're just interrupting the little broadcast, and they're just coming over and saying high five and shaking on the way by.
The men were doing that.
Yeah, and we need. I think
the men were doing that,
if they're not going to change the way they do that, then I think we need to change. We need to empower the athletes to just, hey, you don't need to sit there like a stone. You know, you can, which you feel like you have to do. I'm totally defending them. I mean, like I've had that, and you're like, going, what do I do now? I mean, I
think Suni had that after the fall in Paris.
Of course.
I think that's that has to happen. I'm not saying that doesn't have to happen. Mistakes and
there
celebrations.
is
all
this
of
thing
that.
called a zoom on your camera.
Well, or get there and get away.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay. So that's all. I want. I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole.
I
but-
know, but you get to start, talking about it. It's like,
But overall, general impressions, I think it's great. I think the national staff's going to have a really good bunch of healthy debates on who moves to World Selection Camp. There was great performances. So I do think there's boom, boom, boom. A lot of good things happened.
Yeah.
It looked like the crowd was fairly good. I did not know. I didn't really look at what's the sellout attendance compared to what how much we filled the arena, that type of thing.
But I mean, I'm not even worrying about that because I think at this point, I don't want to critique like the large group, right? I mean, like how they run the thing. But that's whatever. I'm looking at the gymnastics and saying, okay, from what I know, these athletes to be able to do. I think everybody looked good. They looked clean. They looked prepared. Nobody looked unprepared. Nobody looked deer in the headlights or anything like that. And some of them were new. Some of them were young.
Right.
But I thought it was great, men's and women's. I thought it was good gymnastics. The Team USA looks pretty good.
So here's one thing. Now, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to move on next week to World Selection Camp.
Sure.
We can talk right now. The men don't have a selection camp.
No, they've already decided. I don't know if there's
How do you
going to
like
be. As a coach, I'd love it. Personally, as a coach, I mean, I want to start getting prepared. Because right now, you've got X number of weeks to put in certain things. So as a coach, I just want to know now what to get ready for. And the thing is, now I feel like I would change my focus from Team USA and my competitors to
Team Russia.
Team Brazil.
Italy, yep.
Yeah, Italy, whoever, or the individual event competitors, so I could prep my athlete as much as I can to compete for a podium on one of those things. And obviously, you can do a little of it at the same time because you're still doing it. I just feel like it would be very comforting to just know where I'm at. I'm going. I need to start prepping and get ready, and I can start doing my own prep.
All right, I'll be the devil's advocate. It takes away some of the ability to see who's peaking at the right time, to get them mentally prepared as a group, that type of thing. Also, I think one of the it used to be was behind closed doors a little bit, and people got selected that were able to be slightly injured earlier in the process, but were getting healthier, but didn't want to risk it at championships. So it does take, that's a negative, but that's also a positive. That is a negative because it's not very transparent. I get that. But it's a positive if you're trying to win the whole dang thing, because you might need to have that person healthy. And if you'd have put them through the ringer,
right,
you might not have had them. So I just see, I want
it's a balancing
see
act.
both sides of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It'll be, I mean, it's worked for Team USA for a couple decades.
But you don't get that.
So.
You don't get that. You get the other side of it because you're on the women's side. So our next podcast, we're going to try to cover what is selection camp like. You've been through a couple, and what goes on behind the scenes, so to speak. But also,
when do you start doing tomorrow?
Well, how do you prepare for it? And then also, we got to make some predictions on who we would think is going to make it through this thing.
I already have some predictions, but we can cover that next time.
Well, I don't have. I got to do my homework, dude.
Well, some of us have to.
Dang it. Well, we'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday again, and we'll have some more interesting things to cover. We got recruiting next week and World Selection Camp, and then some other
transition from championships to World Selection.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.